Hello, everyone. Are you afraid to be playful? Are you afraid to play? We think that play is just for children, right? Playing and imagining things and playing on the swings or in the playground. And is it really? Because do we block ourselves by thinking, oh no, now we're adults, now we can't play, so we can't play and walk in the sand, or play in the sand, or play on the beach and run around in the water, or swing on the swings in a playground? Try it out. I don't know. Are you afraid of that? And do you think that you'll look silly if you do it? Hello, I'm Carina, and with my awesome Dino.
Hello. Hello, Carina.
How are you today, Dino?
I'm doing okay. To answer your question, can you imagine 50, 60-year-old people playing on swings? That would be funny. That's like a Twilight Zone episode.
Why? I do that all the time.
Do you?
But I'm not 60. I do, really. Of course.
You play in the swing?
Yes. There's a lot of, where I stay.
That may be the reason people don't approach you, Carina. You're playing on the swing by yourself.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay. No, I think what you're getting at today is kind of a metaphor. Obviously, if you do want to play on the swing, and I'm not telling anybody that they can't, it's more of do you have that zest for life that kids have?
Yes.
In the way they see things, which I think is really important. This is a good subject because a lot of times people get bogged down with layers and layers of fact, layers and layers of opinion. Everybody's opinion matters. And so what happens is as great as it is to interact with humans and ask for their opinions or advice, it's sometimes a double-edged sword, I think, right? Because you value their opinion, but some people take it too far. So their own perspective narrows with every question of what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And next thing you know, you're going down the road, down the path of life, and you're living somebody else's life. And this is the way I see it, okay? I mean, don't shun people away when they say, hey, let me give you my opinion. Nope, no. Said not to do it. We're not doing that one today. But I think what happens is it's really nice to be able to always see things like a 7-year-old, like most 7-year-olds, okay? You get asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it's not just one thing. It's normally, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an astronaut. That may be from the same kid. And you're thinking, well, that's impossible. You can't do it.
No, it's not.
No, but imagine saying that to a 7-year-old.
Yes.
Imagine instead of, oh, that's great, words of encouragement and exploration. What if you said, you're only going to be able to pick one of those things because, I know you got big ambition, but to be a fireman and to be an astronaut, you're going to have to go to 2 different schools, and it's going to take you a long time. And chances are you're not going to make it. And statistics show that, only 1 and so make it. And, and here's the pay grade. You never say that to a 7-year-old kid, but people have no problem saying that to an adult.
Yes.
And that's that. I mean, isn't that
it's sad,
like
right?
a weird? It's not sad. It's just it's what somewhere along the line we've considered as normal, right? That it's normal to have one career. It's normal to have one job. It's normal to go to high school, and then you go to college, and then you get the diploma, and then you have your options, but you really don't have options when you have that diploma. And I've said this a lot. You got me started on something, but this is a good subject, okay? When I see people with their diploma accolades behind their office desk, and they should be, by all rights, be very proud of that achievement.
Yes, yes.
At the same time, I also look at the frame that surrounds that diploma as their forever box in life. I'm a lawyer, so I can't start a business because I'm a lawyer. I'm supposed to do law things.
Lawyer things.
I'm a banker. So, they let me go at this bank. I got to find another job at another bank. I got to do something banking because I went to school for finance. And so you're stuck in this thing, right?
Right,
and,
right.
And everybody does it. Everybody is guilty as charged. It's not a bad thing that I'm talking about. I'm not making fun of anybody. But somewhere along the line, there are a few of us that look up instead of follow. And I posted that today. There's a lot of heads of people that are just like this. And there's one head that's like this, and that really represents a snippet to me of what life is. There's very few people that say, you know what, instead of following, let me look up. Let me gaze at something that I want to see, right?
Yes.
And so I think too often we get swayed by other people's opinions, so much so in relationships and in business, by the way. And I have experience with the relationships, okay? 3 times divorced. I've seen more than most people.
Right.
But it's this being influenced by for me.
Is that okay? I'm going to stop you for a moment. Okay, I know you're on a roll. I'm sorry, but think.
No. I know you're nosy. Go ahead. I can't stand it. Okay, go ahead. I'm ready. Let's go.
So do you think that was one of the reasons? I mean, okay, we know the alcohol stuff and we know all that. So that was probably a big reason in your relationships breaking up. But do you think that following advice and becoming the other person or following the other person was responsible for some of your breakups?
It was equally responsible. I mean, I'd like to blame everything on alcohol, and I'm not placing blame on any of my exes, okay? Let's make that clear. Alcohol is a tough act to compete with, okay?
Right,
because, an addict doesn't care about anything else but the next bottle or the next fix or the next high. I mean, and I don't want to do an addiction show today if that's okay, but
yes, no.
Equally important is dealing with somebody that refuses to follow. It's not a conscious effort. It's just, I've never grown up from 7 years old in so many ways. I refuse to follow what they call normal. I'm not going to ask advice from friends. What do they think about my life?
Exactly.
What do they think about my relationship? It's mine. At night, I don't see any of my friends snuggled up in bed next to me. It's me and the person I'm with.
Exactly.
I don't see any of them contributing to my bills or my relationship situation or all the other things that go with, being a couple, okay? Being a happy couple. And it's not always easy. But for somebody not to think the way I do, it's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult because, I'm fighting myself because I have to understand and respect other people's way of doing things. For me, it's just, it's this simple. You just connect A with B and C, and there you go. That doesn't mean that they get it. You have to be ready to get it, and you may never get it. But so many times, you'll have a dispute, you'll have an argument or something like that. Instead of sitting down and dealing directly with each other, they wouldn't hesitate to pick up the phone and call friends. Hey, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. What do you think? Oh, that's right. That's right. I know. And I tried to tell them, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, you have a discussion with your friends about us, and I'll just wait over here when you finish the phone call and you're ready to get back to talking about us. That's not just a relationship thing, by the way. That's a life thing. That's a business thing. That's an everyday common occurrence. But people don't see it that way. People don't see it for what it is. So when you're talking about playing on swings and kicking in the sand and stuff, I mean, I think that everybody reverts back to their what I call comfort food. The time that they felt protected and loved, and you know, life was, you know, abundant, and you know, you didn't watch the news, you didn't care about politics, you didn't care about the extreme polarized society that we live in. You know, all you cared about is playing and being happy. And, you know, you play with boys, you play with girls, you play with all races. I mean, it was never a thing where it's like, oh, I'm not supposed to play with you.
Doesn't matter.
You know, it doesn't matter. And that attitude doesn't matter, should, by all rights, carry out throughout your life.
Yes, yes.
But we are so distracted as human beings that I think a lot of times we lose that. And that's such a shame, because it is a beautiful life if you continue to look at it that way.
Yes.
How's that? How's that for my wrap up?
Yes, yes.
All right, hand it to the kid. This is good stuff. This is great stuff.
It's very good stuff. What I'm saying is that I've been accused of having my head in the sand, right? I don't. Well, okay, you're laughing. It's probably right.
I'm laughing because you said sand metaphor because you like playing in the sand. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I wasn't laughing at you.
No, but what I'm saying is because I don't watch TV. I don't get involved in political things. I don't get involved with any of that stuff because you can't win it anyway. You don't want to win it. There's no ways that you can. All it does is cause conflict within myself. It makes me upset. It makes me sad. So I prefer to rather work on positive things, right? And be positive, be uplifting, work on creative projects rather than getting involved in politics and all that. So that's just my opinion. And that's possibly the little child still within me that thinks, you know, I don't have to get involved with that stuff. Because I can't make a difference anyway. My opinion's not going to count. And I can't make a change.
All right. So here we go. Carina, you opened yourself up.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay.
Tell me.
I respect the mechanism that you have to say to yourself, hey, I don't want negativity in my life. And to avoid that negativity, I'm going to put my head in the sand, not meaning like be dumb about it, but ignore what's negative around you.
Well, it's not really ignoring
positive
it. Okay, right, yes.
Right? Because your voice doesn't matter, is what you said very clearly. And we have it on the air. We have this. If you guys go back, you will hear my opinion doesn't matter anyway, is what you said.
Yes, well, I meant in the political, but okay, carry on. Okay.
Carry on. Yes, I love it. Okay, I mean, you asked for it. Here's the thing. Yes, it's great. I mean, I posted something, it was a button and it says, I'm allergic to negative people, which is really true. I mean, you hang around negative people long enough, it's like you break out in hives. I start getting itchy and I just can't wait to get out. Yes, excuse me, I have to go, you know, whatever. Although that's good to protect yourself, and we do that a lot in what we discuss in sobriety, protect your sobriety at all costs.
Right.
Truly, especially in the beginning, that's what it means. You're hanging around people that are just like they want to party and get drunk. Don't hang around them, especially in the beginning. But let's take that further now. Let's just say that you're a normal, adjusted human being who doesn't get influenced by the drinking. You can be in a bar, you can be at a party, you could be in a setting where you don't feel uncomfortable, nor do you make others feel uncomfortable that they're drinking in front of you. That's a great thing. That takes a lot of work, by the way. It's not, it doesn't happen like that, folks, okay? It's a lot of soul searching and inner strength. But
it takes time.
It does take time. But to your point, I do watch the news. And not only do I watch the news, I watch the Republican news, I watch the Democratic news, I watch the liberal news, only because each one has its own twist on the story, let's say, right? I don't take it personally, but it's knowledge for me that I need to know. Commercials are the same way. Huge resource for ideas for me, believe it or not.
Yes.
And I don't look at a commercial and say, wow, that's a stupid one. I just see things as this is what's going on and this is what people are buying. Because obviously, if you see a commercial on television several times, not just once, it means that it's achieved at least mild success to be able to generate money and continue paying for the ads.
Right.
Isolating yourself from other thoughts, good or bad, I think is detrimental as well. Because you fail to see other people's prisms. As long as you're strong enough not to buy into that prism, I think the ultimate test, the ultimate freedom is to be able to sit steadfast and watch all opinions formulate in front of your eyes. You have your own. You don't get swayed by others anymore. Let's just pretend you don't get swayed by others. When you can do that, you've really got something special, because now you see the changing tides, you see the market, you see the fly-by-nighters, you see the one-liners, you see the flavors of the week, you see hate, you see love, you see all things, and you don't buy into them all, but you understand them. When you understand them, then you start understanding people, and you understand behaviors, and you understand why people do what they do, why people say what they say. It's an invaluable tool for what I've done in my life, especially now, coming out of the ether, of course, clean and sober, but it's more than clean and sober. I mean, it's nice to throw all the blame on, well, I was drunk then and I don't remember, but there was something else going on. I mean, I just didn't get clean and sober and all of a sudden all these beautiful things happened. They've always happened. It's just that, with dulled senses, by the way. So imagine when you have all your senses again. It's amazing.
It's a beautiful world.
Yeah, it's like being seven every single second of every single day.
Right.
But now I don't want to mislead people and tell you that, you're not going to feel emotion. You're not going to feel pain. You're not going to, have empathy for somebody's situation. But again, you have to compartmentalize those things and not take them all personally. And when you do that, when you don't take things personally, it's just a thing, Otherwise, you let all issues, all problems, all opinions fall squarely on your shoulders. And all of a sudden you're carrying weight that's not even your own.
Yes.
Yeah, every day.
Yes.
It's like, wow, I'm getting 8 hours of sleep. Why am I so tired? Because you took 1,000 people's problems to bed with you. That's why. It's really strange. It's really a strange thing that we're talking about. it is truly like tapping into another dimension if you get it right.
Yes.
I'm going to go back to something, Carina, that we've talked about a lot, but sometimes you don't hear it. Sometimes it takes the right show for you to just get it, or sometimes I just blabber. But it's soul searching of self, and it's reprogramming important. Your mind constantly. Your brain is not on autopilot. Your brain does not have cruise control. It does not. Just because you went to an Ivy League school and you have that diploma and you're like, well, now I'm a scholar and I don't have to do, no, wrong. You have to soul search every single second of every single day. It's easy when you get to it. It's very enlightening in so many ways. Mm-hmm. You fix yourself constantly. Hey, I'm thinking wrong. Hey, I'm starting to brag. I'm starting
you've got to
feel
be aware.
Invincible. Maybe tone it down a little bit. Hey, I'm coming off too harsh with people today. Maybe I should slow it down, or maybe I should just, stop giving people some counseling for a few hours and let this whatever funk I'm in go away. You're so in tune with self and so aware with self that you know how you're affecting other people. Yes. This is like a whole different thing that we're talking about, right?
Yes.
If you're not in the right frame of mind to counsel somebody, don't counsel somebody. Free advice right there, okay?
Or do anything for that matter, even in interactions. If you're not in the right frame of mind, and you're hurting yourself as well.
Now, that doesn't mean ignore somebody in need. Okay.
No.
That just means, hey, if you're really in trouble, in my line of work now, if you're really in trouble, call 911.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But other than that, here's what I think you should do. And, it's up to you. And you got to step back because, a lot of times, I don't know how therapists do it. I'm not a therapist. Let's get that straight. But I consider, what am I? Inspiring motivator. I don't know what the hell I am. But to deal with people's real issues, sometimes every single minute of every waking moment of every day, it'll affect you. I too need to just put down whatever I'm doing and just kind of detox my brain and reboot.
Yes.
And that means just soul searching. Do I have a God complex? Believe it or not, you have to always check yourself. Am I doing this for ego and self-glory, or am I doing this for really what my purpose is?
Yes.
Big struggle there too. In other words, is there selfless intent? Am I letting my last conversation with somebody else influence this conversation where I'm coming off a little too strong and a little too harsh?
Yes.
Do I back off? Do I give somebody tough love? Do I, maybe tone it down and kind of offer some kind of guidance? What kind of post am I going to put up? Is it going to be a post that, glorifies me, or is it going to be a post that can help people think or imagine or feel or whatever? These are all things you think about, but in split seconds. I mean, you're not going to spend your whole day, okay, let me go through my brain thing. But rebooting your brain is good. It's not unlike turning your computer off and turning it on, or putting in some kind of security scan, or, whatever the new techie terms are that I'm going to probably get wrong anyway. But it's a wonderful process that I encourage people to do once a day, every minute of every day, twice daily, whatever you can handle. And at first, you're going to focus on your negatives first. That's normal. But if you don't know your weaknesses or your shortcomings, and if you don't know the negative parts of you, if you're not aware of that, you're not going to be able to appreciate the good stuff that you also have. But everybody needs that little adjustment. Things that, engines need oil change, they need tune-ups, they need servicing every once in a while. So does your brain, the most powerful, intricate computer ever to exist, okay, in the history of histories.
Right.
So, so my default, it's taken a lot of hard work to do that. My default is 7. I can trace all good things at 7. That's when my father said that I was going to be a millionaire, even though I didn't know what that meant. That's when I was getting the attention, respect, the doors opening, people picking up my pencil for I don't know what reason. You know, that's what I can relate to. It was the good times playing outside with my friends and my brother. It was the good times where I related to people in kindergarten as well as people in 8th grade, which is really a strange thing dynamic to have.
Right.
But it's all good things. There's not one bad thing that I could trace back to 7. Some people may have a huge traumatic experience at 7. Okay, go to 5. Go to whatever earliest time you can remember that, let's call it a happy place, and program your brain based on that. And you're going to see life completely different from this point going forward.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's really good, because that's what you need to do. And I know I'll just go back to, I know I say I keep my head in the sand, but
okay, here we go, the disclaimer.
I just don't get involved in it. Like you were saying, I watch it, but I don't. Yes, I don't get involved.
It was a slip. Yeah, it was
okay.
what they call a Freudian slip.
Yeah, it was a Freudian slip.
Was it really a slip or not?
Maybe. You know what? Freudian slips are never really slips, though. They always show the truth of what you're really feeling, right?
That's right. That's right.
So,
and I think that carries a lot. That carries a lot in your life, if I could be so bold, because you have stated many times that the family, the Italian family, the life and everything was, you're not important. Your only importance is measured by the man you find. And that, it's certainly not condescending to you, because I think you're brilliant. But if you have that mentality growing up, it's always going to be with you in the back of your mind that, unfortunately, a lot of people that didn't progress like you, that didn't write a book about your traumatic experiences, that didn't form a podcast that says break fear, find freedom. They will always believe that they're second. They will always believe that they're not good enough.
Yes.
And, that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to overcome.
You have to break those chains really all the time. And when you're in relation, even like friends, like podcasts, there's always that thing, and you always relate to it, but it's a good thing, because then you can see it for what it is and you can grow from it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can start getting to a point where you realize that it's partnerships. It's not, what this man is like God, which is ridiculous, right?
Right.
And then that's when things start opening up, because it
is a partnership.
Which it's a partnership, you see, but you can feel it as a partnership.
Yeah, one day I'll get that one right. So far, not so much. But yeah, it is a partnership. When you're 100% totally reliant on somebody else to define who you are, that's a tough act to follow. You know what I mean? I mean, that shouldn't be that way. It's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yes.
Just like I have in business relationships. If I took my business advice and put it in my personal life, I should listen to my business advice all the time. But, again, I mean, you've got personal feelings, you have emotions, you have that stuff. I didn't start looking at business philosophy and personal philosophy, how similar they are, believe it or not, until age 55. Up to a year ago. That's, again, I mean, some people get it right away. It took 55 years for me to get it. And that's okay. In other words, it's never too late to change how you're thinking. It's never too late to improve your outlook on life, or how you interact with others, or what you do in life. It's never too late. So that 55 thing, that myth, throw it out the window. That's why I like talking so publicly about my personal stuff and my business stuff. A lot of times people don't like when I talk personal, because sometimes, I'll involve them, and I know that's wrong. But I think it's important to vocalize what I go through or how I think, not because look at me, but because I have to believe that I'm not the only person that feels this way. There's a lot of other people that may feel the same way, except they've chosen not to vocalize it to the world. So if it can help in any way, large or small, that's what it's all about.
Yes.
That's what this show's about. That's what my purpose is all about anyway. So I feel very comfortable in doing it.
Yes. Now we go back to the relationship and the partnership. I'm not saying that there's no feelings involved. I'm saying that you can meet each other and realize that you don't have to be like one person all the time, right? You don't have to be attached to each other all the time. You can have each other. You can be free to carry on doing what you need to do, but come together, and then it's beautiful. So you have this kind of thing. I don't know. So that's just my thoughts.
True. Well, it's true. I mean, you ever see at the movie Coming to America, where the prince has, this arranged marriage with this wife that she's from childbirth, she was groomed and grown to worship the prince. So he's like, what kind of music do you like? Whatever music you like. Well, what do you like to do for fun? Whatever you like. And so you don't want to fall into that trap. I mean, obviously, every single person has their own dreams, their own goals, their own, whatever outlook on life. I think now that a relationship kind of reinforces that security, and I use that word security, to be able to interact independently and always know that there's a home base, to complement each other and support each other. Even though I'm following my dream, I understand completely that they have to follow theirs. I don't know anybody who dreams of, well, I dream of worshiping you, and I'll be home, cooking and cleaning and waiting for you to come home. I mean, it doesn't work like that. Or the condescending thing they used to do in the 50s. Boy, that woman sure makes a good cup of coffee. I cringe when I see that. I'm just like, oh my God, how far have we come, But,
right. But then you've also got to come together as a relationship and grow together, because otherwise the relationship can't grow. So if you're growing together and you supporting each other and you loving each other and you playing together, it should work, right?
Yeah, it should work. I mean, as long as you're doing the stuff. I mean, you got to be yourself, right? You can't just put on an act for the marriage. It's hard work.
No, you have to be yourself. It can't work if you're not yourself, right?
And you ever want to see train wrecks, go watch 90 Day Fiancé. Oh my God. I can't stop watching that. I'm just like, no. Well, don't show me a series that's like, 6 seasons, because I'm going to want to see all, in one sitting. I just can't. I can't do it. But, all of them have these unrealistic expectations of what a relationship is. And they are completely unwilling to change in any way, shape, or form for the other. So in other words, oh, this is how we do things and they're not doing it that way. And oh, okay, that's strike one. I don't know what's going to happen. Or these negative people that are on this show. It's like today we had a good day and I really started to interact, but we'll see, when it comes time to go to the altar, we'll see if we go through with this. I mean, if you're thinking like that, but it's amazing how many people are on this damn show. And I watch it. I'm sorry, but I watch it. And again, I mean, you want to feel good about your relationship, watch 90 Day Fiancé. That's all I got to say. And I'm not plugging it for any reason. I'm not plugging the show, but I'm telling you what I'm watching. And it's just amazing to me how some relationships are that superficial. Let's put it that way. So it all starts with self, Carina. I mean, like we started out with this show. I know we're veering off having a little fun, but how you view life is entirely up to you. And you can choose to view it the way everybody else does, with all the baggage and obstacles and conditions that come with it. Or you can choose not to rise above it, like a lot of these slogans are, rise above it. Just think differently. Just for a moment, just think differently. It's not a bad way to think. It's not a better way to think. But if you think differently, then you're going to start understanding that what people think, feel, their opinions, their intentions, all that stuff, all well and good. And you can learn from every single one of those things, but it should not sway or influence who you are.
Yes.
Bottom line.
At the end of the day, those opinions are right, but it depends on the way you are. The way you are, your opinion about yourself and the way you live your life. I mean, we've spoken about that also so many times.
Yeah, so many times.
So at the end of the day, it's about you. And I don't mean it in an egotistical way either.
No.
I mean, like, it's about you. Are you true to yourself, or do you believe that what you're doing is right? Do you believe? And then you can relate to other people in that way. And I think there'll be a more honest relationship. Because you're coming from a place of your own truth, right?
Right.
And so the relationship can be true, and there's more honesty and openness within the relationship because you're not hiding away from anything. Well, there's always something you're hiding away from. You always find that, but as you're learning and growing, you open and your relationship grows because you're growing together, and you're learning as you open yourself up more and more. Your relationship grows closer and closer.
Right. It should do that. It's just you have to have two willing participants.
But you have to, yes, you've got to be both on the same page, right? You've got to be on the same level. You've got to have the same connection. You've got to have that connection, right?
Well, you got to be open.
And open to, and you've got to want the same things, right? You've got to want to grow or not.
I can't answer that one. I mean, again, it's, I need somebody who wants the same things, who likes the same things, who's, it's like, well, find a wife, just add water. I don't know if I can answer that one, Carina. You may have stumped me on this, but I guess the only condition that I would have is to have an open mind. That's it. What they want, if they're positive, if they're negative, if they have an open mind, all those things I believe will follow. Again, do not take marital advice from me for any reason. But if it's a business advice, I'm all there, But so far, that's what I believe. That's what I believe is the condition is there aren't really many conditions, because if you put too many conditions on things, a lot of times you find that you miss that growth. You know what I mean? But that's all I got to say about that one.
Yeah, it's about connection, I guess. That's probably the ultimate thing. I don't know. It's probably about connection, right? It's about the connection first. I don't know. Let's go back to
That's a good one. That's a good one. Comments, people?
Yeah.
Questions? Please comment after the show.
What do you think?
That's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing. What do you think?
So what do you think makes a good relationship? Or what do you think? Because I mean, I know people that have been married for 45 years and 50 years. And it's like, wow, that's great. And they've got this beautiful relationship where they'll sit and they'll talk, or they'll
I'm going to pull a Carina. How do you know?
I don't know.
How do you know?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know.
Because when the door closes,
Right.
I don't know anything.
Do you know how many people are in a 45 or 50-year relationship, which I admire? I don't envy, but I admire. Okay. However, there's a lot of them that are in these relationships and they have well-publicized affairs on the side. That they hate each other, or they sleep on different sides of the house. You don't know.
Yes, yes.
And then there's people that have been married 2 days that are in just complete bliss, and I admire them too.
Yes.
I don't envy them. I admire them. So
it depends what you want as well. It depends what you want out of love.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. But just because people are married 50 years doesn't mean anything. I'd like to hear a sincere answer from people. You can respond as anonymous. I don't care. But again, I mean, we started off thinking like a 7-year-old, and we got into marital relationships, which is just one of our twists and turns. But it'd be nice to find out. I mean, what makes a good marriage? There you go. If you have a comment, put it down after the show. That'd be perfect. What do you think?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And you're right about those people. You don't know. You never know about a relationship anyway. Only the two people know about it.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's up to them to have their own relationship the way they want it.
It could be a polished facade. You don't know what's in the back behind the curtain.
Yes, yes.
Hopefully, it's the same as the front of the house, but you never know. That's just something that's out of our control. But I'd like to hear other people's opinion.
Yes.
On the matter. That would be cool. What do you think? That was a good show.
Good show. Yes, thank you.
Good show.
So on that note, tell us what makes a good relationship. That would be very awesome. Just out of interest, just to see what you think. And so on that note, I haven't done a shout out to Sierra Marin for a while, who plays our music into Stoned Horror production for the edits. And and remember my book. Just check it out, Clank of Chains.
Clank of Chains.
That's coming out soon. And
cool.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been a good one again. Thank you so much, Dino. This has been awesome.
You're welcome. I loved it.
I love these conversations.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you soon next week. Have a good one.